Okay, welcome to study guide 3.7 to 3.9. If I was to give you a picture and let's say it's a high heel shoe and it started at $150, then it's $100, then it's $75, and now it's at $50. What would you as the consumer be thinking if you bought this? You're getting a good price. You're getting a really, really good deal because it was originally suggested at $150 and now you're getting it for 1/3 of the price. Okay, next one. I am going to go here to a whiteboard. Because I'm going to draw. We're going to talk about supply and demand. And if I have, ooh, that's a really fat one. Let's make it a little skinny. So I have price and I have quantity. Here is my demand curve. Here's my supply curve. So if something happens that all of a sudden makes supply decrease, let's say inputs increase, so lumber has gotten expensive, so that's going to affect new home prices. So that is going to decrease our supply. It's going to shift it to the left. If this was equilibrium, and this is now our new equilibrium, what happens? Remember, if only one shifts, supply or demand, it moves up or down on the opposite curve. So if supply shifts, we're going to move up or down on the demand curve. If demand shifts, we're going to move up and down on the supply curve. Well, supply has shifted here. Look what's happened to equilibrium. It's moved up. Okay, it's moved up into the left of the demand curve. Okay. The next one, we've got how are price ceilings and price floors similar? Well, the big thing is who puts these into place? That's the government. So these are examples of government price supports. If I was to ask you why would a free market economy be more efficient than a centrally planned? Well, the big thing is in a free market, we the consumers are deciding what gets produced. In a centrally planned, the government is. So in a free market, resources are more efficiently allocated. And that's workers, that's supplies. Everything is more efficiently allocated rather than it being just what the government thinks you need. What is generally true after a shift in supply or demand? So this is very general. If one or the other of those curves, shift, one shifts or the other shifts, what's going to happen? And, basically when we have a shift, equilibrium is eventually restored because I've been telling you, we're always moving towards equilibrium. The market's always trying to get there. And we will eventually restore equilibrium by raising or lowering prices. Now, let's go back to the whiteboard. And let's clear this one. So if we had supply and demand here again on the same graph, here is demand, here is supply. If we were sitting at a price point right here, so here's going to be supply, here's going to be demand, we have a what? Surplus. Yes, this is going to be a surplus. And when asked about does a surplus or even a shortage, who does it benefit? It benefits neither party. Because if you look here, demand is lower than supply. So the producer's going to have a lot of stuff to throw out. But we as consumers, if this is equilibrium, we're paying a higher price. So we lose out too. So neither side wins. When we're at equilibrium, it's a win-win for both situations. And when we're at a surplus or a shortage, neither side is winning. Okay, the next one, if we have, you see something like this, demand, supply, and here's one that has both. Okay, and then it went over here to $3. Oops, And when we went here, and this says quantity is 200, it's going to ask you which of the sayings best describes. So when it's that word best, that's one of those tricky ones that there's more than one right answer, but which one's the best answer? I know, I don't like these. And you might even say equilibrium is where price is at $3. That's a good answer. Or is it better when we say where quantity supplied and quantity demand both equal 200? That's what we want, okay? Because a price point of $3 could not be equilibrium. But when you're saying where both supply and demand equal 200, you're also following the definition of equilibrium. Okay, and the very, very last one is if prices are falling, so prices are going down, that means demand's going to go up, but supply is going to go down until they were equal. What would cause a business or a firm to drop prices? Like they've got a lot in this question, but bottom line, what's going to cause any business to lower their prices? It's a word. It's one of the S words. What is it? There's a surplus. Think of the clearance rack at Walmart or any of your stores. When there's a surplus, they're going to drop the prices so demand goes up. That's why any business is going to drop price. There's a shortage, they're going to raise it. Surplus, they're going to drop it. So hope that helps on the multiple choice. Study your vocabulary words and see you for the test.